So, just between you and I, wouldn't you agree that in our lifetime, we've heard plenty of people say, you just can't make anybody happy, right? Truth be told, we've said it too. I know I have. Perhaps you've exhibited a nice gesture and you received no thank you. Perhaps you've been verbally assaulted when you've said something kind. Perhaps when you've been generous, it's been turned down. And you say, you just can't make anybody happy. And inevitably, what happens is we use it as an excuse to turn around and say, well, there's no point. I'm just going to make myself happy. And then over the course of time, you find out that even I'm not happy. So what do you do about this? Well, today I'm going to show you how you can make 14,000 people happy, including yourself. Now, I didn't make this up. I didn't concoct this. I didn't fabricate it. A man named Charles Wiley did, and probably through experience. I don't know who he is, but he said, make one person happy each day, and in 40 years, you will have made 14,000 human beings happy for a time, at least. Man, that's doable, right? That's plausible. You think you could do that? I know I could. I mean, when you think about just making one person happy a day, you think to yourself, that's not going to overwhelm me. I can do that. But there's a difference between saying I'm able to do it and actually committing to it. You see, when you commit to actually trying to make at least one person happy every day, your mindset automatically changes. It changes to a healthier mindset because now you're taking the focus off yourself. Now you have a plan and now you have intent. And when you get up every day and you decide, I'm going to remain susceptible to opportunity. I'm going to look for it and I'm going to act upon it. Now you have purpose. And when you look for those opportunities, you're not so focused on yourself anymore. And when you find out that you can put a smile on someone's face, and when you can lift someone's spirits, encourage someone's heart, when you know that you've done that, then you are happy. You are never happy when you solely focus on yourself. And I don't think you can be happy unless you intend on being happy. Now, there are some people who like to say, well, no one makes you happy but you. Now, there's truth to that, but it's also not completely true. The people who like to say this are the people who don't like to take any responsibility, and they're usually the ones who like to make other people miserable. They oppress others, and then when you're miserable, they'll turn around to you and say, well, it's not my job to make you happy. You make yourself happy, right? But here's the problem with that, is if people have the power to be miserable and oppressive, they also have the power to uplift, encourage, and to cheer someone's heart. So yes, we do have the power to make others happy, but it's not completely in our power. I mean, someone has to be kind of open to it, right? Here's a little tip. Here's a little tip about making people happy. Don't throw your pearls before swine. If you are dealing with someone with an ungrateful heart, who by nature has an ungrateful heart, they've exhibited, and let's say it's somebody you know, and it pretty much has to be somebody that you know in this event, and you know they have an ungrateful heart, don't throw your pearls before swine. They will never be happy. You can do something nice, you can do something generous, you can do something to uplift them, and it will not work. It does not matter. And they are going to be the same people who turn around and try to miserably oppress you, doesn't matter what you've done for them. So don't do that. That's just a little tip about trying to make others happy. But what you can do to make other people happy, I've kind of given you little clues and little tips within what I've said already. But you think of putting a smile on people's faces, right? Well, how do you do that? Well, one of the ways you can do that is listen to people talk. People want to be heard. People want their feelings and their emotions validated. They want to know that they're not crazy. They want somebody to hear them. They want somebody to sympathize or to empathize with them. They just want to be able to state their case, and they want to be able to get that off their chest. When they can do that, they feel happier. You can express generosity. There are people who will pay for someone's toll behind them or their lunch behind them in the drive-thru. Now, you don't have to do it all the time. I personally have never done that, but I've heard people talk about it, and it makes them happy because they've made the person behind them happy. You can express gestures of chivalry, and sometimes that works, sometimes that doesn't. It seems like it works less and less all the time. But there are so many ways of making people happy. You can encourage someone. You can uplift them. You can be there to bolster them. You can be there to say kind things about them. Compliment people. Various people. If I'm going through a checkout line in the grocery store, and I'm thinking of one particular older lady who works at the Publix up the road from us, and she always goes to lengths to try to make herself look nice. I'll deliberately comment about how I like her earrings, or I like how she's done one thing or the other, and it makes her happy. You can tell it cheers her up. And that makes me feel good when I walk out knowing that I made her happy. You can say nice things, compliment people. Flattery is not sincere, but that's one way of doing it, is by complimenting them, saying nice things about them, encouraging them, supporting them, listening to them, being generous. But don't throw your pearls before swine. And so if you move forward with the intent of making one person happy every day, you will take the focus off yourself. You will begin to think of others more often, and you in turn will be a happier person. Can you imagine a lifetime of that? He said 40 years. In 40 years, you would make 14,000 people happy. But the truth is if you intended on doing this every day, if you purposed, if you committed to doing it every day, it would become a habit. And then you would find yourself doing it to people all the time, everywhere, just because it makes you happier to make other people happy. And over the course of 40 years, that number would be magnified tenfold, I can imagine, right? So consider that. Consider living with purpose. Can you imagine living out to the end of your days knowing that this is what you've done? And in essence, that really is the purpose of man. Not just to make other people happy, but to focus less on himself, to edify others. Edify means to build up. To build up. If everyone edified, if everyone encouraged, if everyone cheered and lifted others up, can you imagine what a world this would be? But it starts with you, and it starts right now. And if not now, it starts tomorrow. But commit to it. Make it a purpose in your life. And that will be a life worth living. Thank you for your time. If you've liked this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and please share it on all of your social media and with your friends. All right? I'll catch you later. Bye-bye.